I'm Zachary Carter, and this is Zachary Carter TV Boxing Talk. Today, we'll be discussing the keys to victory for both fighters, analyzing their strengths, and giving our predictions on how this monumental fight might unfold. So, whether you're Team Charlo or Team Canelo, stick around to the end as we unpack the strategies, the punches, and the heart behind this historic matchup. Joining me is a man who needs no introduction, a boxing strategist, my mentor, and the one who's seen it all from ringside, Coach Carter. Coach, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Zach. It's great to be here, especially during a fight of this magnitude. So let's get right into it.
The stage is set for the epic showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo, two undisputed champions clashing for the first time ever. The boxing world is buzzing, so break it down, Coach.
All right, Zach. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this fight. When we talk about a fight of this magnitude, every detail counts. So let's break down the keys to victory for both fighters. First, Jermell Charlo. Keys to victory number one. He must take the fight to Canelo. He can't let Canelo dictate the pace. If Canelo gets comfortable and start to pressure Jermell, it could be a long night for Charlo. You gotta understand, Canelo cannot dictate the pace and just attack when he wants to attack, defend when he wants to defend, and essentially rest when he wants to rest. This just totally favors Canelo. So Charlo has to take the fight to Canelo. He cannot allow Canelo to be comfortable. He just can't. Keys to victory number two for Charlo is distance management. Jermell's jab is crucial in this regard. Jermell, he's not a slick fighter. He has good feet, but he's not considered a slick fighter by any means. If you look at his fights with Tony Harris and his fights with Castano, they were able to get on his line. He was not able to really get away from those fighters. They were able to create exchanges whenever they wanted to, so they was able to dictate the fight. Now this would be lethal against Canelo. Charlo has to manage his distance by not trying to run like a Billy Joe Saunders or Caleb Plant. You see what good that did them. He needs to manage this distance like Bevo did, using his jabs, his ones, and his ones twos. That's how you manage distance. You use your jab to manage distance, in and off the line, using your jab. You can't necessarily run. Running and managing distance is two different things. And oftentimes managing distance is utilizing both footwork and your jabs, your straight punches. Powerful 1-2s will not only score points, but also keep Canelo at bay. He needs to use his jab effectively to control the distance. The key to victory number three for Charlo, his counter left hook. This is Jermell's ace card. Canelo will be looking to land his left hook, but if Jermell can time his counters perfectly, especially with his explosive left hook, he has the power to change the course of the fight. By far, Jermell Charlo's best punch is his counter left hook. It is explosive, and it could stop the fight, which it has in the second fight against Tony Harrison and the second fight against Castano. His counter left hook is devastating. It is totally devastating, and he got to make good use of his counter left hook in this fight. So let's talk about Canelo Alvarez and his keys to victory. The key to victory number one for Canelo Alvarez, constant forward pressure. Canelo's strategy should revolve around constant forward pressure. He needs to force exchanges on his terms, making Charlo react to him rather than the other way around. This will eventually wear down Charlo, and we all know how strong Charlo is, especially toward the later rounds. Canelo definitely needs to apply constant forward pressure. Keys to victory number two for Canelo, to neutralize Charlo's jab. The jab would be Charlo's primary weapon to maintain distance, and Canelo needs to take away this weapon, be it through head movement, parrying, or countering. However he want to do it, but he needs to take away Charlo's jab. And the keys to victory number three is to target the body. Canelo is known for his vicious body shot. If he can consistently target Charlo's body, not only Charlo's body, but Charlo's body, shoulders, and arms, he'll wear down Charlo, reducing his power and speed as the rounds progress. And that's a key to Canelo winning the fight is you got to somehow wear this beast of a man down. Because Charlo is a beast, and he maintains his physicality from the first round all the way through to the 12th. Canelo has to find a way to mitigate Charlo's outstanding condition. Let's talk about the battle of the left hooks. Both fighters possesses a deadly left hook. Canelo's is more on the offensive side, while Charlo's counter left hook is a thing of beauty. The fighter who can better position himself and land this punch more effectively might just have an edge in this battle. I call this the battle of the left hooks for a reason. Both fighters' left hook, to me, is their best punch. Canelo's attacking left hook versus Charlo's counter left hook. Canelo often positions himself in relation with his opponent to get maximum leverage on his left hook, whereas Charlo fires off an explosive counter left hook that, if his opponent doesn't see it, can oftentimes lead to a knockout, which is what happened in the second fight against Tony Harrison, and this has also happened in the fight against Castano. That Charlo's counter left hook is truly devastating. That's my take on the keys to victories for both fighters.
Now, I'm gonna talk about Jermell Charlo myself. You know, Jermell Charlo, he's athletic. You know,
Yeah.
He's real athletic. He's big. He's physically strong, and he's powerful. You know, he
Yeah,
carried that power real late. You know, he has like a 15-round conditioner.
I agree. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah,
He has a good stiff jab and a really good right hand.
yeah,
But as we know, by far his best punch is the counter left hook.
right.
Best punch.
Talk about off air. Yes, that's his
Yeah.
best for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. He also has good head movement, and he also has good reflexes. You know, he moves well with his feet. You know, his footwork is really well. But me, you know, I wouldn't consider him like a slick boxer. You know, his opponents were able to catch up with him in forced exchanges, as we saw in his last fight against Castano, in the last two fights actually. But he does do his best work on the line or in mid-range. Now, on the other hand, Canelo Alvarez, he's good at it. He has a good attacking footwork. He uses his footwork to close the distance very well. The question I wanted to ask you, Coach, is how is Canelo's conditioning?
Well, when it comes to conditioning, you got to get the edge to Charlo. Charlo is a beast when it comes to his conditioning, and Charlo oftentimes takes over the fights during the late rounds. We've seen Canelo fade during the late rounds. If you look at it from that point of view, if you look at it from a history standpoint, you got to figure that Charlo has the advantage in the late rounds as far as conditioning is concerned. That's why when I mentioned the keys to victory with Canelo, he's going to have to break down Charlo with ferocious body shots. Not only that, he needs to target Charlo's arms and shoulders to bring those arms down, and, you know, and maybe open up a pathway to the head. Charlo has pretty decent defense. He could be hit. If you put that money in the bank during the early rounds, you know, it could pay off during the late rounds.
If we think about the Billy Joe Saunders fight and the Caleb Plant fight with Canelo, their conditioning, you know, they was moving around, for like 8 to 10 rounds, you know, and then they got tired. You know, both of them got tired, and Canelo was able to take them out.
You know, that goes back to the keys of the fight. In order to maintain his distance or distance management, you don't maintain distance management by solely using your feet. If you look at the Bivol fight, Dimitri Bivol fight, Bivol moved around, but he maintained his distance management mostly by using his jab. He had a great jab. You know, Bivol's side helped him in that fight as well. You know, just makes a difference, that's for sure. But he wasn't just constantly moving. He used his jab to maintain his distance. And then going back to the second key to victory, he took it to Canelo. If you look at the Billy Joe Saunders fight, and if you look at the Caleb Plant fight, they allowed Canelo to walk them down. essentially Canelo fought on his terms and at his pace, and that's just legal. You just cannot allow Canelo to just simply fight it on his terms and at his pace. If you look at the Bivol fight, Bivol brought it to him. Oftentimes, Bivol brought it to him. Canelo was the one on the ropes. Canelo was the one that ended up on the ropes. So that's why I mentioned that as a key to victory for Charlo.
All right, Coach. I got some questions for you. All right, Coach. Considering Charlo's power, his power carries late into the rounds, how crucial will the early rounds be for Canelo to establish dominance?
Yeah, I think Canelo takes the early rounds. He needs to start fast to take the early rounds, because we all know how Charlo is able to finish late, and we don't want Charlo to start fast. And when it comes down to conditioning, like we stated before, Charlo has the advantage when it comes down to conditioning. So in the later rounds, so Canelo can't afford to allow Charlo to bank rounds early. So I believe it is crucial for Canelo to establish dominance in the early rounds. Yes.
Okay. Now, with both fighters having a lethal left hook, do you think they might be more cautious in throwing it, knowing the counter punching capability of the other?
No. These guys, they're coming to fight. These guys are not going to be cautious in throwing their power. Not at all. It's just not in these fighters' personalities. These fighters are coming to take your head off. They're not going to be shy about letting those hands go. So that's what's going to make this fight so excited, because I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a stoppage one way or other, and I can understand where they're coming from. And be sure to wait to the end of the video, to the end of this podcast, to get my picks on who's going to win and how and why. So stay tuned. But no, these two fighters have great left hooks. They use it different. Canelo's more of attacking style left hook, more of a lead left hook, leading the left hook, whereas Charlo is more of a counter left hook. It's very explosive, and oftentimes it's not seen because it just comes out of nowhere. And if you don't see it, that's when it really hurts you. Both fighters' left hook can stop a fight. So we're gonna see what happens. All right.
Yep. All right. The third question I have: Canelo's known for his excellent head movement and defense.
Mm-hmm.
How can Charlo exploit any potential openings and make his punches count?
By throwing punches in bunches. Yeah, Canelo is known for his nice head movement. I mean, we've all seen those highlights where he's sublime in his movements, making boxers miss. But oftentimes he's making, his opponents miss because they're throwing one punch at a time, or they're very predictable in their punch. You throw the jab, you throw the one, and what comes next is the two, and what comes next is the three. So by him having, years and years and years of experience, sure, he knows the two comes after the one, and the three comes after the two. So in order to hit Canelo, you need to be, you need to throw punches in bunches. You need to set up your combinations, and you can't just pop shot. Everybody is not like a Floyd Mayweather. Everyone's is just not that great. So, Floyd Mayweather could, he's a sniper. He's deadly at that. He could pot shot you to death, but not everyone is Floyd Mayweather. So, so Charlo needs to throw punches in bunches.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, given Charlo's strength and athleticism, do you believe he has the advantage in the clinch, or would Canelo's experience in higher weight classes give him an edge?
Yeah. Canelo's experience and Canelo's, weight classes. There are weight classes for a reason. So, yes, I think Canelo does have the edge if it comes in the clinch or on the inside. So yeah. There are weight classes for a reason, and Canelo has a whole lot more experience in this regard. Yeah.
All right. Now, Coach, in terms of strategy, do you see either fighter trying to take the bout to the later rounds, banking on the other's conditioning to outlast the other?
Well, this is where I feel Charlo has the edge. Charlo is a machine. He is. Canelo is stout and strong, and he's been through it. We've seen him been through it time and time. His conditioning was a question a little while ago, but I believe he's gotten better as far as his conditioning in later rounds is concerned. I don't think it's that much of a question like it used to be. I think he's experiencing it, but that goes to the keys of victory. If you allow Canelo to fight at his pace, then he's going to destroy you. His conditioning won't become a factor because he knows when to take a breath. He knows when to take a breather. So, it's not going to come into play if you allow Canelo to fight at his pace. That's why you must take the fight to Canelo. You must take the fight to Canelo, like Bebo took the fight to Canelo. But that being said, condition-wise, the advantage is Charlo. Charlo, that's the advantage. That's one of the reasons why Canelo needs to try to break down Charlo. He needs to try to sap some of that strength because Charlo maintains that strength all the way through the 12th round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, both fighters have shown they can adjust their game plans mid-fight. Mm-hmm. Which fighter do you think has the better adaptability and why?
Well, I would say Canelo, he has a lot more experience, and he's seen all types of fighters. So you got to give that edge to Canelo. Definitely Canelo. I watched the Tony Harrison fight. I watched Castano fight, and they were able to dictate oftentimes when and where the exchanges took place. However, Charlo's physicality, led the way. It shined through. He's a great athlete. Charlo is a amazing athlete. He really is. He's strong. He's fast. He's powerful. He's big. It's hard to overcome that. It really is. It's hard for 12 rounds. It's hard to overcome that athleticism. You got to be a master boxer to overcome that, and you got to be a heck of a fighter yourself. Well, he's just going to blow through you. He's going to blow through you. But as far as midterm strategy or adjustments, you got to get the edge to Canelo. Canelo is the more experienced fighter. He's been in these situations way more than Charlo, so I get that to Canelo.
Okay. Now, Canelo often positions himself to maximize his left hook's leverage. How can Charlo disrupt this positioning and keep Canelo off balance?
Yeah. As we discussed this before, when we was watching the Caleb Plant fight, we seen how Canelo positioned his body in relation to Caleb Plant, and this gave Canelo great leverage in his left hook, great leverage. So, what is this positioning? So, Caleb Plant, he got into the Philly shell position, kind of, the shoulder roll position. And what Canelo did, Canelo split his own body with that of Caleb Plant. So what I'm saying is, he placed Caleb Plant on his center line, on Canelo on his own center line, and he threw that left hook from one position of the center line to the other position. It's hard to explain here, but that being said, Canelo positioned himself to have great leverage on his left hook. Now, Charlo, he doesn't fight in the way that Plant fought. So I don't think this is going to come and play quite as much as long as Charlo doesn't lay on the ropes, because Canelo positions himself to land that left hook when his opponent is on the ropes. When he got you on the ropes, then he'll position himself to land that devastating left hook. And I think Charlo would be looking to land his own counter left hooks. He's looking to get you there. I mean, they're both great fighters in the mid-range positions. You understand? They're both really good mid-range fighters because they both throw those lethal hooks and they short right hands and body punches, and they both got good head movement. And when it comes to Charlo, with both Canelo and Charlo, they both, great counter punches. So Charlo's gonna give back. Charlo is not just going to go back to the ropes, lay on the ropes, and try to pop shot you with a counter right hand. Oh no. Charlo's gonna take it to Canelo. He's going to take it to Canelo and give as good as he get. This is one of the few fights where Canelo will get as good as he gives. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting. This fight is, it's gonna be a heck of a fight. It really is. It's gonna be a heck of a fight.
Yep. Now, given that Charlo isn't typically seen as a slick boxer, do you think he might surprise Canelo with some unexpected moves or tactics?
I think Charlo is who he is. So I don't expect too many surprises. I mean, he's going to use what got him here, so he's not going to try all of a sudden on the biggest fight of his career, try to switch some stuff up, try to experiment. I think so. I think he might rely on like his jab more, which I believe is the key to victory. He's going to rely on his jabs and his 1-2s more so than he has in the past, because again, his jabs, his 1s and 1-2s, his jabs and his straight right hands, that's the weapons of an outside fighter. And I believe Charlo is best on the mid-range and in, where he can really use his physicality and his hooks to make damage, to really create damage. So, but in order to maintain distance, in order to take it to Canelo, and in order to control when and where the exchanges take place, I believe he's going to utilize the jabs and the straight right hands more. So it's not new and it's not a surprise. It's just that he's going to use a little bit more boxing fundamentals more so than you would normally see. He's not just going to try to come out and just overpower a Canelo. I mean, he's going up 2 weight classes. So can you overpower a person that you know when you're going up 2 weight classes like he normally does? He normally is the stronger opponent in the ring. He's normally the bigger, the stronger opponent in the ring. Even Tony Harrison was taller than him, a couple of inches taller than him, but he still was physically stronger than Harrison.
Now, Coach, how significant is the psychological aspect in this fight? With so much at stake, which fighter do you think handles the pressure better?
I think they both is going to handle pressure just fine. It is a lot at stake, but both men are great family men, as we seen on the Showtime All Access.
Yep.
So they're fighting not just for themselves and just for their legacies, but they're fighting for their family and put their family in position, in a financially secure position for generations to come. So I think they both will handle the pressure fine. Now, if you ask me which one would handle it a little bit better, you would have to give that edge to Canelo, because he's just been there so many more times. He's been there so many more times. So we got to give Canelo the edge in that regard.
Yep. Now, considering all the technical aspects, who do you believe have the edge in terms of pure heart and determination to win this historic bout?
That's a good question, and I'll tell you, both men have heart. Both men has the heart of fire in their hearts. Both men, they're going to give it their all. It's not really going to come down to heart and determination, I don't believe, because they're going to both put it all on the line. They really are. And I just stated earlier, they're not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for their families. And families give it. Your family is your superpower. A lot of people don't understand that. Your superpower is when you not only fight for yourself, but you fight for your family, or you fight for someone that you really love or you care about. I mean, look at the Rocky movies, right? The Rocky movies. Rocky was getting his butt kicked, but He didn't fight for himself. He fought for Vivian. And then when he won, or when he survived against Apollo, who did he scream out for? He didn't say, "Yeah, I just made a whole bunch of money. I can't wait for the rematch."
Yeah.
Screamed out.
Adrian.
Oh, not. I'm sorry, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian.
But yeah, you see, but that's for real. What's funny is the Navy SEALs. They have the hardest training there is. They really weed out like 99% of the applicants who wants to become Navy SEALs. How are you going to be that 1% that makes it through when they going through the crap that they going through, and when they cold and hungry, and they just in pure hell and just miserable? They don't think about themselves. They think about their teammates around them. Hey, Joe, how you doing there, man? How you doing? We here for each other. I'm here for you. You can lean on me. You can count on me. And that's the superpower. That's the superpower. You don't do it for yourself. You do it. You sacrifice for someone else, and that's the secret. That's the superpower. So I think when it comes to heart and determination, and they both are equal on this. Neither one of the fighters have the edge.
Now, finally, who wins and why?
Okay, let me tell you something. I went back and forth on this, and then I went back and forth again, and I went back and forth again. It's a tough fight to call. For all the reasons we gave, this is a very tough fight to call. Now, mind you, both fighters does their best work on the line in the mid-range. Both fighters are strong. Now, there are weight classes for a reason, and Charlo is going up 2 weight classes, but he's not a little man. Charlo's a big dude, and honestly, he's a big 154. He really is. I'm sure he could fight at 160 and be a fairly big 160. That being said, Canelo has been at 68. He's fallen a couple of times at 78, or at light heavy. So one thing, there's not going to be a knockout. There's not going to be a knockout. I really don't believe it's going to be a knockout. All right. So out of everything I said, you figured I said it was somebody that's going to stop, but no. They're both very strong. True, they're both going to be in an amazing condition. But let's look at history. Let's look at some history here. Okay, let's look at Canelo's history.
Yeah.
When Canelo has fought a very strong opponent, a Triple G, has he stopped Triple G? No. Triple G is very strong. He fought Danny Jacobs. Did he stop Danny Jacobs? No, he didn't stop Danny Jacobs. This past fight, John Ryder, or a recent fight, John Ryder. John Ryder is strong. It's a strong dude. He won that fight convincingly, but he did not stop him.
Right.
I believe Caleb Plant was going to go the distance, but he got caught. He got caught with a punch he didn't see. He allowed Canelo to fight at his own pace when he wanted to, where he wanted to, and that it caught him. It caught up to him. But I think if he didn't get caught with that particular punch, he would have went the distance. Bivol is a big, strong dude. Bivol was never in trouble. He was never in trouble with being stopped. So what about Charlo? Can Charlo stop Canelo? Well, has Canelo ever been hurt? Has he even looked hurt? I don't believe Canelo has ever even looked hurt. I'm not, I'm sure it probably a time or two where he shook it off, but Canelo looks like he has a granite chin. So I just don't believe he's going to get stopped. I know Canelo is a little older, but he's strong. Canelo's strong. Yeah. And this fight is going the distance. Now, who's going to win? Okay, so if it goes the distance, you got to give it to Canelo. Split decision win. Canelo's going to get the benefit of the doubt on every close round. That's what I believe. That's why I call it a split decision win. Canelo is going to get the benefit of the doubt on the close rounds. Now, again, let's look at history. Let's look at the second Tony Harrison fight. Man, Tony Harrison, for a large part of that fight was outboxing Charlo. Arguably, he was winning that fight. Tony Harrison was winning that fight, but with that devastating counter, took the fight from him. He snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. He really did. And that was late. Charlo is strong. He could come and stop you late. I believe, can Charlo hit Canelo with that explosive left hook? Yeah. Oh yeah, he can hit him, especially late. But I believe Canelo's chin is gonna hold up. I believe Canelo's chin will hold up. And Canelo is a much better fighter than Castano. And you know, Canelo's an all-time great. So you figure he knows how to win rounds. He does. He knows how to win rounds. So, you know, at first I was leaning Canelo at first. Canelo at first because, oh, it's Canelo, the name. Yeah, right. And I thought about it, then I said, no, Charlo. And this is what I believe is going to happen. Charlo is going to come on stronger at the end of the rounds, at the end of this fight. You know, like I say, Canelo better not give away early rounds, but he's not. Canelo is not going to give away early rounds. Canelo knows how to win rounds on points. He knows how to style on this guy and impress the judges. You know, he's very experienced. So Canelo is going to win those early rounds, and I feel Charlo's going to come on strong, and it's going to be a bunch of swing rounds, and I think Canelo is going to get the benefit of the doubts in those swing rounds, and I believe that's why he's going to win the split decision. I don't think it's going to be unanimous. I think it's going to be a good enough fight where one judge is going to give it to Charlo close. You know, 115, 113 Charlo, 116, 112 Canelo, 116, 112 Canelo, 115, 113 Canelo. So it's gonna be a tight split decision. It's gonna be a really good fight. It's gonna be a really good fight. We could be wrong, you know. Yeah.
Spence Crawford.
Oh, yeah, we could be wrong. We could definitely be wrong. But that's why they've had to fight.
Yeah.
That's why they had to fight. I mean, both fighters have their strengths and their strategies, but in a fight like this, it often comes down to who can better implement their game plan and to make the necessary adjustments. You know, so it's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be a chess match sometimes, and it's gonna just be all out banger other times. So this is gonna be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely join us for our watch party. Yep. Definitely join us for our watch party.
I say a good big man beats a good little man. You know, so I got Canelo.
You got Canelo. Yeah.
I got Canelo.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
A good big man.
We're gonna see you on Saturday.
Yeah. We're gonna see you. We're gonna see you on Saturday. So, looking forward to it.
Thank you guys for tuning in on our podcast about Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. My name is Zachary Carter. I was the host, and I'm here with my dad and Coach Carter. And thank you. Please subscribe and please join us on the watch party. Thank you guys again. Subscribe to the channel. And this has been Zachary Carter TV Boxing Talk.